Hey YouTube, welcome to Beyond the Hype, where we look at Pokemon with new Pokemon or Pokemon with new moves and give you the Beyond the Hype version of whether they are good or not and their strengths and weaknesses so you have an informed decision going into your building of this Pokemon or not. And today we are looking at Goodra, which has jumped to the second top Pokemon, Dragon Pokemon in the Great League meta. Um, just behind Guzzlord, ahead of Zweilous and Dragonair and Hackmo. Um, and so the question is, what do you get with Goodra that you may not get with others? Um, and is it comparable? And if it's comparable, is it better or worse? And is it worth building up or not? So, um, in terms of stat product, you have a 119 attack, 136 defense, 114 stamina, 1867 overall. So the question is, how does that compare to the other dragons? So Guzzlord is probably more defense heavy. Yeah, stamina heavy, whatever, one of the two. Either way, it's bulky. It feels really, really slow to take down. And so you get that way, way, way high stamina, overall better stat product with um with Guzzlord, and I feel like 1867 you're probably very, very comparable to Dragonair. Probably better actually. That's the Shadow. I mean, stat products doesn't change with Shadow or not. Yeah, so you're actually better in terms of overall stat product, which I kind of feel. You feel that you're a little bulkier um, overall with Goodra. So especially with the Shadow versus non-Shadow. So slightly better stat product than Dragonair, worse than Guzzlord. So right now, accurately placed, um, and that's why all these dragons are very, very close to each other in the rankings, and that's why Goodra I think is accurately ranked and accurate within like the comparables of dragons because all of them get the stab, same type attack bonus move. Guzzlord only has access to Dragon Tail, which does more damage. Same energy, more damage, just a 3-turn move as opposed to Dragon Breath, which is a 1-turn move, but all have Dragon Breath. And then the bonus of Shadow Dragonair, you get that. So you get 4.8 damage per turn on the Goodra, on the Shadow Dragonair. With that Shadow bonus, you're at 5.76, right? So you hit harder with your Dragon Breath with Shadow Dragonair, and that is a great thing to have. And that's why I'll talk about Dragonair versus Goodra and Guzzlord in the matchup analysis there. But either way, good fast move. Dragon Breath is a great fast move. Hard hitting. Okay energy generation. Exactly like Dragonair, you have the same Aqua Tail, which got buffed. Again, Aqua Tail is not a good move. It did get buffed, but it's still just a 1.57. But it's a spammy. You're not going to get to move super fast anyways. So having just like a 1.5, 35 energy move is not bad. And then your second move, Power Whip. Power Whip gives you like interesting coverage for all the waters. I mean, you're going to take down the waters anyways because you resist water, but gives you something to throw there with an increase in water in this meta for 50 energy, 90 damage, 1.8 damage. So slightly better there. Again, comparable to Guzzlord, right? Guzzlord has the Claw, 35 for 60, 1.71, so slightly better damage per energy. And Crunch, same thing. More energy, but looking at that 1.87. And Dragonair, you have the exact same Aqua Tail, but you also have Body Slam, which gives you a nice 2.06 with the stab. Not stab, sorry, with the Shadow bonus damage per energy here on Body Slam. So they're all within the same range, and if you look at the matrix, they're all comparable. In the one shield, so you can look at the pickup and losses down here. Goodra first, Dragonair, and then Guzzlord. You look at the one shield, 22-22 for Goodra, 21 and 24, so the worst record, but highest overall average, which means more consistency for Dragonair, and then Guzzlord with the 26-19 most wins and second most, right? So I'm pretty sure it's the same in all shield scenarios, so let's just confirm that. Yep, actually Shadow Dragonair, because of that Dragon Breath damage, right? So that's where that's kind of my analysis on Dragonair in a second. We'll talk about that. 21 versus 29 versus 24. And in the zeros, maybe Guzzlord comes out a little higher because of its bulk. Yeah, and then Dragonair loses because it doesn't have the bulk, and then Goodra has a little more bulk, and then Guzzlord has more bulk, so you have a higher record. Right? So is this Pokemon good? If you think Guzzlord is good and you think Dragonair is good, Goodra is good. I place it at the exact same level that I place Guzzlord and Dragonair. Guzzlord gives you more bulk, and I think a kind of unique typing with the dark You pick up the fighting weakness, which is unfortunate, but you add on resistance to ghost and stuff like that, and which is nice to like resist like the lick on Lickitung. Dragonair is feels safer, right? Just because that shadow bonus really helps even in bad situations. Just that Dragon Breath bonus, and then you have the option like you take like against Frostlass, you beat Frostlass in the ones with Dragonair, Shadow Dragonair, especially with like one Dragon Breath advantage there. If you use it as a safe swap, you will beat an Ice, and Dragonair is just safer that way because you have the hard hittingness. And Goodra, you're right in the middle. You got like decent hit, decent bulk, that fits in the middle. So this Pokemon is appropriately ranked. It's appropriate for what it is. It is basically, you wouldn't use it the exact same way as you use the other two, right? Shadow Dragonair, you'd use it with the Shadow Breath bonus. You would think about using it more in like the 1 to 2 shields. And Guzzlord, being its bulkiness, you can kind of just absorb more damage on Guzzlord. And Goodra kind of fits in the middle where you could play it somewhere in the middle, right? You can't use it. You still have some Dragon Breath, but you don't have the Shadow bonus on top of it, so you don't hit as hard. But you got more bulk. So that is basically the analysis. Weak to ice, so Dugong and Sandslash. Sort of like ABB, not like Goodra resists fighting, but it resists electric, so that helps against the Dugong. And then it just kind of I feel safe, right? It's you don't like beat fighters straight up, and you don't beat like a ground or electric, which Dugong and Sandslash or reverse Sandslash Dugong are weak to, but you're just generally safe outside of the steals where you Dragon Breath resisted. Fairy, right? You're weak to Fairy, so the Sandslash is there. That's kind of how I built the team. Safe swap, Dugong. You don't need to get out right away, but ideally you want to try and draw out a fighter with Dugong. And let's look at action. So it's basically going to play like an in-between version of Guzzlord and Dragonair. You're going to see the Dragon Breath damage is not doing nearly as much as you would on Dragonair, and you're taking more damage than you would with Guzzlord. But again, you're just kind of in the middle. So that is my sort of analysis. So the question is, should you build this up? So there's two things with it. Should you build this up? If you want if you don't have Guzzlord or Shadow Dragonair, this is a perfect opportunity to use a Pokemon that can fit the bill of that, right? Because getting a legendary, which you may not have like the candies for, or Shadow Dragonair if you don't have the Shadow for, Goodra fills a perfect void if you don't have those. Is it worth building up? Goodra will get the June Dragon Community Day. It follows, for those of you who are newer or don't understand the sort of path that they've been following for the last 4 seasons now. Basically, your Dragon Pokemon with their shiny gets released at GoFest, and the following June they get their Community Day. So we had it for Garchomp. We had it for, I'm blanking on all the dragons that we've had it for. 1 second. Someone's probably already spamming the chat. Oh, I see it. I will hide that, and you can watch the battles. Again, I kind of staying with a lot of stuff, but knowing that you have to try and draw out a fighter eventually. So I will stay with Goodra in a lot of matchups and then try and draw out something with Dugong. However, against a Lantern, it's really hard to try and draw out anything else here. So what do we had? We've had not good for, maybe I'll do the Ultra League or Master League Pokemon for Dragons, because they are not coming out in the Great League to remind me here. And so we had so Hydreigon, so Dino got Brutal Swing. Garchomp got Earth Power. And Haxorus got Breaking Swipe. So those are the 3 dragons that we've had. So one got released on Community Day, one got released on Global Go Fest in August, had its Community Day in June. Something exact same thing for the other 2. And the shiny for Goodra was released at GoFest last year. So it will be the June Community Day dragon this year. All that is to say, if I had the names on hand, it's a long roundabout way of saying this Pokemon will get a legacy move in 4 months. March, April, May, June, less than 4 months. It'll be sometime like mid-May, mid-June, whatever. So 3.5 months till this thing gets a new move. So if you don't want to waste an IV one, and you don't want to waste dust, and you don't want to waste candy and all that, and you have a Shadow Dragonair and you have, or a Guzzlord, there really is no point of using it. Dragonair, I think, is more comparable because that dark on Guzzlord really adds in more weaknesses. In particular, the fighting weakness, which is very prevalent in the Great League. So I think Dragonair is more comparable. So if you have a Shadow Dragonair, I don't think there's a reason that you need to build this up until the Community Day in June. I would just save it. I would not have built this up if it did not get a new move and I wanted to just showcase it. I haven't built any of them up. I have a hundo that I've been powering up whenever I get the power up task, like power up a dragon or just a Pokemon in general. I have a hundo Gumi that I'm just powering up knowing that it will get a legacy, like a community move. So I will eventually evolve it, but I'm not in a rush to evolve it because I will just wait till June. And so that's my thought process behind whether you need to build up Goodra. If you don't have a good dragon and you need a dragon and you want to use a dragon, dragons are strong in the Great League right now, right? Tons of water, some grass coming out, some electric like Lantern coming out to deal with all the waters. Dragons are in a good spot. They've been in a good spot for a couple of years because of this meta right now. And so because of all that, I think that it is worth building one up if you do not have one, like a good dragon Pokemon. If you do have a good dragon Pokemon, I would personally just save it till Community Day. And getting the Bastiodon in the back, just need to sort of optimize timing and get multiple throw ones off to take this before I get hit with a double super effective flamethrower. And we do. So I'll go back to commentating on the matches, even though, again, it's very straightforward. I usually stand for a bit with Goodra, Dragon Breath a bunch. This one I may take a move because I know that Muck has a Thunder Punch. So I'll take a move, but eventually you need to try and dry out a fighter. So once you dumped your energy, I'm fine coming in here. Yes, it has a Thunder Punch, so I may shield, yeah. Just to take it out or lower its attack and then take the next Thunder Punch. And I remember them shielding. I think they really wanted to get this Thunder Punch off, but I did lower their attack. So we'll do a little less, so that is okay. Probably take this. I can't imagine using 2 shields on Dugong. No. And again, Thunder Punches do add up, but now I got a bunch of energy. Let's see what comes in. Looks like I was going to say Lickitung. It's a Greedent. It is a Bullet Seed Greedent, which makes this actually much worse. But 2 Icy Winds, good enough to lower their attack times 2. I'm assuming I'll absorb on Goodra here. Do not get the move off because the game did that sort of like half-second delay there when it should not do that. Out comes a Skarmory with it looks like a wing attack, or not wing attack, whatever the fast flying move is there. Because it is not doing neutral, which you would get with Steel Wing, because Steel Wing ice is weak to steel. I do shield because I expected the Brave Bird. And now I can just farm down and come out with 2 moves and just go back to back here. They do get a move off. I can't imagine a crunch from a Greedent is going to take me out. Non-stab crunch from Greedent. Not going to be enough. Get a drill run off here. enough to take out. Goodra against Lantern. Again, this is one where there's no point of getting out eventually. You got to get out eventually. But that is such a good lead. Dragonair. Again, dragons are good. I got to steal, but these dragon breaths, resisted or not, will add up, and the Aqua Tail will chip a ton too. So I can't take this for granted. That's why I shielded first, because I want to keep switch, right? I may even double shield here. Yeah, I cannot lose switch here. I have a Goodra, which resists everything on the Lantern, and then I have a Dugong, which is going to get killed by the Lantern. So I can't really give up switch here. And if they do let it go down and just come out with a shield advantage, I'll likely be able to chip a ton with the drill run here before they get to a move. So I'm at a drill run. This will do a ton of, ton of damage. They are probably going to go one shield whatever's in the back, which is smart. As you should. In the back is a Gallade, which is possibly the worst to see right here. Because this thing is going to spam so fast. I think they'll probably just go double Leaf Blade. There's no point of lowering their attack yet. Or defense yet. So double Leaf Blades, but I do drop all their energy. Hopefully I can out Dragon Breath them before they get to another move. I can't, because this thing is so spammy. And they close combat me. So Gallade, as you're going to see in tomorrow's team, or maybe not, maybe tomorrow's team, afternoon. Just so strong. Tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow? I forget when I'm going to post the video. They beat me with Bubble Beam. I thought it could be Ice Beam. They beat me with Bubble Beam, so it's probably Bubble Beam Aerial Ace. Either way, they are not going to get any shields here. Just going to lower my attack before they probably get out of here. Maybe take a move and then get out of here. Yeah, take a move and then come in with a counter user, which makes this really tough for me. But again, if you're trying to draw out a counter user, so this is what you want to see. Get off the icy wind to lower their attack. Drill. So this was like almost kind of worse because they just get more farm there. But and again, my move does not show up before they even get their move off. So thank you, Niantic, for not fixing that mechanic. But Dugong kind of did its job, chipped enough that I can now just take this down with the Dragon Breath Goodra. Out comes a Shadow Vic, and I have two answers essentially for Vic, Dragon and a Steel. So I'm going to make it very obvious. I'm going to take that. Bubble Beam and Aerial Ace, right? We know what it is. I'm going to just take this out as fast as I can because there's no point of taking any more damage here when they're just going to try and Razor Leaf me down. But maybe they know the writing's on the wall because they're not going to double Razor Leaf. They're not going to Razor Leaf 2 Pokemon that resist the moveset here. So, again, Lantern, good lead. So I'm going to stay in with it for a bit. These are where I hate these sort of style of teams because you need to, if they have a fighter in the back, I'm screwed because I'm staying in here because I have such a good matchup. Thunderbolt hurts. And now they finally get out into a fighter, right? So I'm like, hello, thank you for coming in with your fighter now because I do not have, I could have got killed in the back. If I remember, they shield and farm. So you have to come in with Dugong because you're double weak to fighting with Sandslash. So Dugong can take the counters and just absorb this probably Mud Bomb damage. And then you're essentially just going to go two shielded Sandslash. I may stay in because I'm really close to the drill run. So I actually may stay in and just get that drill run off. Yeah. Because this will do great chip damage or grab the second shield. Both are good options. Grab the second shield. So hello. And out comes a Ferrothorn. So I resist everything except for if they have a Thunder. So I will shield when they throw a charge move. But the point is to just get ahead on energy that I come out with the drill run here. That's fine. I got two shield. I'll shield one up even if it's a bait. Well worth the shield. So I basically have two moves. This Ice Punch should take out Shadow, neutral. And then I'll have a drill run to take out the lantern. And I still have 3.5 minutes of battles. Okay, counter user on the front. Defensive Deoxys is a tough counter user because it's just so bulky. It'll be interesting to see what they do. If they have Thunderbolt, that's resisted. If they just go Psycho Boost and Bail, or just go back to back here. They could just go back to back because even though they lower their attack times 2, it will be able enough to take me out. I assume I let it go because then they'll just be 4 times lower. So even if they do counter me, it can't do much. Get ahead on energy. Talonflame. Okay, so this is good. This is where you want to see it. Sandslash is going to get lit up by this, so you just got to stay in here. I think I end up shielding. And then I have to double shield. Yeah, what am I doing here? I'm just so scared of getting Talonflame on my Sandslash that I'm like over committing here to keep this, to get this out of here. But now, okay, no, they do not get to move and I will take them out. Do they have a shield? They do have a shield and they used it, which is kind of like, okay, there must be weak to ice or something in the back because they're pretty scared to, for my Pokemon to see the back, and they are weak to ice. So you can tell if you've been around this long enough that we're both fighting rather stupidly for switch there. And the only reason we're both fighting for switch is you must have something weak in the back to this. So let's see if I try and catch here. I do try and catch. Do not get the catch. Charge Bug comes in. Okay. Just lower this attack. And the goal here is, with the lowered attack, I should live 1, and I should get to a second move. And the goal is to grab a shield here. So I will grab a shield here, probably. Lower their attack again. And I was about to say, could I get to another one? Would have been close. But they throw. That's fine. Let's say I let the switch clock run out, but I guess the switch clock is basically already run out. They're 2 times lower, so I'd be surprised if I use a shield here. And now I'm probably just gonna spam get out of here immediately. Oh no, that makes more sense. Is to throw a move. And then get out of here. Or they let it go. And they have a Swampert. So I'm just going for chip damage. Or to grab a shield. And now I know they're going to get a head on energy. I wonder... No, I don't try and catch. Just let this go down and figure I can outpace the Ice Punch before they get to 2 Hydros. And I know I can. And I remember them throwing Earthquake here. I was like, okay. Maybe they thought their win condition was like, I won't shield the first one or something. But Hydro from a Swampert onto a... Yeah, it's going to take it out anyway. So I kind of had to. So that's it. So yeah, Goodra, good Pokemon. Comparable to the other top dragons of Great League. That's the way you need to look at it. So I think it's appropriately placed. I would say I did sort of like a tier. I think I'm going to do like a tier list wrap up at the end of this week anyways for like early risers, early fallers tier list. But Goodra, wherever you place Dragonair and Guzzlord on your tier list is exactly where you should place Goodra, which I think makes it for me like a bottom of second tier, right? You have your first tiers, which are just the super dominant for me, like Lickitungs and stuff like that, are top tier. And then second tier is where I think your Dragonairs and Goodra come into play, which makes sense because they're ranked in like the mid 20 to 30. So they're not top tier, but they're pretty good. Anyways, that is it. And that is officially it for the top Pokemon, like the Pokemon that got buff moves and stuff for this season that are actually usable. The rest of them are not usable. I don't care what other content creators are trying to spew out there. These other Pokemon are not usable. These are the only 5 that really got a boost that matter. So I do have, I do have a few more teams, but those are just like mix and match of like other Pokemon. Although one of the teams does have Gallade and Feraligatr, because those two are like dominant. So yeah, showcase those over the next couple days before we league switch over on Friday. So that is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.